Welcome back to this already, the final segment of today's Price of Business. Glad to be with you, talking to you about you and your business. Do you want to mention today's show brought to you in part by our friends at Abbey Executive Suites and also SEO411.com. Wrapping up today's segment with Pierluigi Stella. And delighted to have you on our program. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Okay, NetworkBox USA, part of a global organization called NetworkBox. We're a managed security services company. We have 12 security operation centers around the globe in the Security Response Center. As far from the business perspective, we relieve companies from the burden of having to do cyber security for themselves.
Okay, very good. So cybersecurity, that's like one of the hottest technology topics in the news all the time because of all the things that takes place. Tell us a little bit about your background and the resources and knowledge you bring to the industry.
Personal background, I've been doing this for longer than I want to remember. Mm-hmm. Even when cybersecurity was not on the media every day yet. It was even harder to find a job at the time, or to even justify your presence in a company. Over time, things have changed, as you just mentioned. It's in the news every day, and what we bring is a security response that monitors our customers' devices and our customers' networks 24 hours a day for threats and attacks, and as a cyber intelligence to provide real-time protection.
Mm-hmm. And tell me, you kind of give me an idea of the size and range of the companies that you have as clients.
It ranges incredibly from, we have some customers that have 2 users, 2 customers that are global, that have 50, 60 of our devices on a global scale. And the reason is, it's not as much a matter of the size of the customer, but what you are trying to protect. And that is important. We have some customers that are very small, but they are traders, and they cannot afford to have problems with their network because 5 seconds of downtime could mean $1 million or $10 billion of loss for their business.
Right.
So they need very strong security posture for their company.
Interesting. What would you say is the biggest challenge right now out there when it comes to business owners, when it comes to their IT security?
The biggest challenge, in my opinion, is understanding that there is a problem. And I know that may sound, maybe you're referring more to technical issues, because we hear the attack on the big retailer, and we hear about the DDoS attacks, and we hear about all the government, China spying, and this and that, and maybe those sound like the big challenges.
Right.
But for the regular business owner, the biggest challenge is to recognize that you are a target, and that you have to do something about it, and that you have to consider security as the cost of doing business. Mm-hmm. You would not run your company without an insurance. You should not run your company without proper security.
Right. And the thing about it, I think that people should be finding troubling, I know I do, is the hacker on target was like 17 years old. And you sit there and you think about it, that, it doesn't have to be, a massive organization that are conducting these attacks. It can be just extremely bright kids with great technology, good technology in their hands. Because
technology helps.
Yeah.
And yes, that is true, but it is also true that this is one case. Mm-hmm. To give you an example on the other end, about a couple months ago, one of our business partners discovered an organization called The Mask. Actually, the name is in Spanish. I don't recall the Spanish name. It's an organization that was targeting government individuals in Spanish language. The moment they blogged about them, their organization took down all their servers. That is not a child.
Right.
That displays a level of organization worthy of a very large enterprise.
Well, yeah, my point wasn't that to be dismissive and that this is only a child's game.
No.
My point is that even teenagers
yes.
are able to create the kind of havoc that has led to the firing of the CEO of Target for not fully dealing with the crisis, and has caused a branding crisis for one of the largest retailers out there. And so if a 17-year-old can do that kind of devastating damage, all of us should take our IT security extremely serious. That's my whole point.
Yes, Please, and we should. And I say please because, unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet in certain areas. And the more we talk about this in the radio, the more, hopefully, businesses will understand that, yes, in the case of Target, it was someone who actually targeted Target. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry for the game of words here. But at the same time, the vast majority of attacks that occur are actually generic, and they can get anybody.
Right.
As long as you have something worthy for the sake of getting you, or worthy because it will make them the money or whatever their reason, you are a target. And it doesn't matter how small or large you are. For example, ransomware. Ransomware is one of the most rampant problems today. I don't know if I need... Okay, ransomware is you get an email that has an attachment that looks innocuous, you double-click on it, and suddenly your entire disk is encrypted. And there is the only thing you see is an entry where you need to type a password. And to get the password, you need to send money to somebody. So that's ransom. They keep your data ransom.
Right.
Okay? They don't really care how big or small you are. That's a $20,000 or a $2,000 or a $200 ransom. And you could be a very small organization or you could be a very large organization. At the point, it's a matter of how much is that data that you just lost worth to you.
Right.
So anybody is a target.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The internet is like one giant, small neighborhood. With one click away, you are at the doorstep of anybody's IP address. You don't have to travel to China to get somebody who's in China, and the other way around.
And you
that's
can
what
be
makes it
one
easy.
click away from a very dangerous neighborhood if you made the wrong turn on. You just entered a very dangerous alley thanks to not thinking. So it's very important. You mentioned when you had a client or clients with as much as 60 plus. Did you say 60 plus devices?
Meaning,
kind of give me a sense of the range of what those devices are.
Because our company does perimeter security. Mm-hmm. The devices will be sitting at the edge between the network of the customer and the internet. And they will do things like firewall, IPS, IDS, antivirus, anti-spam, anti-malware of all kinds, and content filtering, and quality of service, and bandwidth control, and a whole host of other things. In general, the industry refers to these devices as UTMs. Our company has its own UTM, and we manage it. Okay? And the size of the device that we deploy depends on the size of the customer. Sometimes it's a big customer with one internet access, so it's maybe a very big device. In the case that I was mentioning, the customer is 50 different locations globally, so they have 50 different devices.
So it's a lot of defenses along the way. The more the better, obviously.
Yes, we call that defense in depth or layered security.
Yeah.
Kind of the same idea, not exactly, but pretty much. The idea would be scan and then scan and scan again. Before it gets to the final user, scan as many times as you can. Because it's not possible that one single system can catch everything all the time.
Pierluigi Stella, he is with a company called NetworkBoxUSA.com. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
Great topic. All right, when we come back tomorrow, much more for you. Do want to remind you that the best content from this show can be found over at USDailyReview.com, including this interview. While at USDailyReview.com, make sure you like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. I'm Kevin Price. You've been listening to The Price of Business.